Hi guys, my name's Allison and today we're going to be talking about being safe in the welding lab. So what is welding? Well, welding is when we take two similar metals and using heat, pressure, or a little bit of both, fuse the metals together. This can be really dangerous for the person welding if we're not careful and follow safety procedures. So, first thing first is where should we weld? Should we weld just anywhere? Should we weld here in a kitchen or here in a classroom? Probably not. We should probably stick to welding here in what we call a welding booth. As you can tell, this welding booth is insulated and it has these curtains right here that cover the welder so that anybody walking by does not get shot with flames or fumes or anything, that the welder is protected and so are the people on the outside. So there are common welding hazards that we encounter daily. So there's electricity. Electricity can shock you and it can hurt a lot. UV light rays, sparks and fumes, and heat sources and hot metal. So let's break that down. How do you protect yourself? Well, electricity to protect yourself and others from electric shock. You should never touch a live electrode or electrode parts. You should insulate yourself from the work and insulate the ground. You should always wear dry, insulating gloves and all of your PP material, which we'll talk about later on. You should tell the teacher if you need to replace worn or damaged cables, keep the guards and covers in place at all times, and disconnect power after every use. What about intense light, like UV, where you should protect your eyes and cover your skin? So always wear safety glasses. Always use a welding helmet with properly shielded welding filters and wear complete body protection to cover exposed skin. What about sparks, spatter, and fumes? Weld it in the area that contains arc rays and sparks and spatter. Safety. Always inspect the safeguard against the fire. Remove anything that's not fire or flame resistant. Never weld around fire hazards or fumes, and always have adequate ventilation and avoid breathing those fumes directly. What about for the last one, heat sources and hot materials? Well, we want to protect ourselves against burns. So consider everything hot in a weld zone. Never pick up metal, and if you're going to, make sure you use proper tools. So we're going to talk about what we call personal protective equipment, or PPE. These are things that you should wear at all times when in the welding lab. So first things first is a welding helmet. A welding helmet protects your eyes and your ears and your face from all things welding. So you should check the helmet before every use. As you can tell right here, this is what we call a face shield. This shield makes sure that UV lights do not puncture your eyes directly. It is tinted just enough to save yourself and save your eyes. Earplugs can help when listening to block out the noise and protect your eardrums. You can't really tell, but under that welding helmet, he is wearing safety glasses. Safety glasses should be worn at all times in the welding lab, even under that helmet. Even when you're not wearing the helmet, make sure that you have safety glasses at all times. Next is a welding jacket. Now I know, welding jackets are big and they're bulky and they're uncomfortable, but they cover burns and they cover us from getting burned and cover cuts. Leather jackets work the best because they're not going to get punctured easily, and fire or fumes or anything is not going to come through that jacket directly. But make sure you don't roll up the sleeves and make sure you button all the way at the top because you don't want any exposed skin. Next on the list is welding gloves. Proper gloves are heat resistant and go over the jacket so that they have no exposed skin and make sure that you are protected at all times. Next on our list are work pants. Pants should be worn long and go all the way down so you cover every inch of skin. Boots should be leather and resistant to sparks getting through. So we've talked about everything that you should wear. Well, what shouldn't you wear? You shouldn't wear shorts because those are going to have exposed skin along with short sleeve shirts. Now, what about tennis shoes? Now, tennis shoes aren't great because they are not made of leather and so they deteriorate quickly. So if you had a lone spark hit the tip of your shoe, it could go straight through your shoe and burn your foot. So we want to make sure that we wear the proper shoes, and that means wearing leather boots at all times. Also, last thing on our list is tools. Make sure you're using the proper tools. Two common tools that you'll find in the welding lab is a hammer and chisel that makes sure you get all that slag off, and pliers. This is to pick up metal. You should never pick up metal glove to metal. You should always use a tool to make sure that it is not hot and that you are not getting burnt. That's all for today. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, just let me know.